Okay, so now that we've done everything we need to do, we're going to move into creating pivot tables and getting you a report, a commodity level report. So let's just jump right into it. We're in our BQ soft raw data. I'm going to go and select any one cell, it doesn't matter. In the data table, it's all one piece of data. So I'm going to go to Insert, Pivot Tables. It says, okay, that's got the whole range, which is my table. New sheet is fine, I'm going to hit OK. Title this soft by commodity. Doesn't matter, whatever you want to call it. Typically I'll just make it green. And we'll get started. The first thing I want to do with a pivot table is go to Design tab. I do turn this off. I go to Report Layouts and hit Show as Tabular Form. Always show in tabular form. Turn off subtotals. Those things always happen. I'm going to give it, this is the normal style, I give it something here, but you'll see as I build it. Also, I'm going to right click and Pivot Table Options. I am going to go to Totals and Filters, to Display, and turn this off, Show and Expand Class Buttons. I normally will turn that off. There's uses for it later, but not for this. And then into Data, and I'm going to switch this to None. I don't want it remembering things that aren't in the data anymore. And hit OK. Now we're going to start building our status of funds by commodity. So first thing, fund code. It's the highest level that we're going to deal with in this particular case for BQ. I'm going to scroll all the way down to the funds control level. Then your funding documents are going to say BACO 1 is X and BACO 4 is Y. So you need to know what those bottom line numbers are, and then by commodity. So we've got a nice thing going here. Second, I'm going to start populating some values. So my annual authority, my quarterly authority. For a higher level report at the wing level, usually I'll just do gross commits, gross obligated, and then maybe something like uncommitted quarterly and uncommitted annual. You can add in however it is you want to view this data, but that's going to give you most everything you need to know in terms of are we imbalanced, how much money do we have left, what does our gross commitments look like for the year. Next, I'm going to go ahead and highlight my values, and I'm going to apply a format across the board here. I'm going to hold Control Shift and hit the money sign, or the number 4, to give it that. The next thing I want to do is clean up these headers. So Control and F. I'm going to replace, and I've already populated this, but sum of, find what sum of, and replace it with nothing. So I'm going to hit Replace All. And it's going to do that for me. So I like how this is looking already. The next thing is I don't want to see a rolled up number for everything. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off grand totals as well. I do want to take a look at my fund code, of course. So I'm going to select the cell and right click and say subtotal funds control, or fund code. So now I've got some bottom line numbers that are meaningful to me. I also want to do this for my funds control level. So right click and subtotal funds control. Okay, now to make this look a little bit nicer for me, I'm going to start formatting a bit. I'm going to turn off my grid lines view and turn off grid lines. In the pivot table, I'm going to hit Analysis, select Entire Pivot Table. I'm going to right click now that everything's selected, Format Cells, and I give it a border, an outline. Okay. Next thing, you see how this kind of arrow points to the right there when I kind of curse over it? I'm going to do that. And now I'm going to right click in here and say Format These Cells, because it's selected all of my subtotals. I'm going to give it a minor outline, and I'm going to say fill it with kind of a light gray to offset from the blue. And I hit OK. So now when I select off of here, I'm going to do that to my totals over here as well. Format cells and give it a just a small border here. So now you can see that I've got a complete status of funds for my BQ data. Now we would do the same thing for Deems. Just take the exact same steps, but I've got my status of funds at the MilPERS and O&M level overall, and I've also got my BACO 1, BACO 4, and reimbursements, as I call them, because I don't want to see whenever my reimbursements hit in BACO 1 and BQ. I don't want this to look like I have more money in BACO 1 than I do. I need to see what my bottom line is when I do all my X to J and X to W and have them D&O balance. So a few other things that you could do. So Funco 56, I could just come in here and type in MilPERS. It's no problem. And type in O&M just to be a little more descriptive for someone who might be looking at this. Now, at this level, this is all dependent on how you did those drop-down boxes, but we've created now our status of funds reports that is completely updatable. So let me go ahead and prove that to you. I'm going to close this down. I'm going to go into my BQSoft data, and what you'll see is I'm going to come into here and just make one of these targets in my raw data, $100 million or something like that, something ridiculous, right? And just save that and close it. Open up my funds control, or my status of funds, so don't update. I'm going to prove to you that we're totally automated at this point. Download data, open up this and hit refresh. So I'm going to go to data. The first time I click refresh all, it's going to refresh these red tabs, the data table, so I'll hit refresh once, right? The next time I hit it, it's going to refresh my pivot table, so here we go. And let's go ahead and find that $100 million addition that I did. There it is, right there in DSMT Pay. Okay, so that's the basic format of your pivot table for your status of funds by commodity. And the following videos we're going to be doing much more, but as you can see, 7 videos later, we've got a fully a running status of funds from your data. See you next video.